lady up here to tell you about the food. I tell you, during the war, when I was sent overseas, I was put in a replacement depot just north of Bath, England. And while there, they assigned me to the 29th MRU up in Cheltenham, England. And on the way up there on the train, if you know the English cars, you get into the side of them and you're in a compartment. And I fell into the compartment there in this train. There was a young couple there with a little girl, and they sat on this side and I sat on this side, and we rode along quite a while. I never said a thing. But finally broke the ice and introduced herself. You know what those people's names were? They were Wheelers. And I asked them, I said, is that a pretty common name in England? He said, yes, it's very common. And that's where we came from. We came from England, and in the researching of the genealogy, William Wheeler is our forerunner, and he was born in, let's see, I believe, born in 1858 and died in March 1923. And his child was Donald Vernon, my father, born in 1885 and died in 1955. And here I am, a great-great-grandchild of William Wheeler. And I was, I'm going to tell you when I was born. I'm not too old. And then on the other side of the family, he had a John W. Wheeler child, and a grandchild, William Henry Wheeler, and a great-grandchild, Eugene Wheeler, and a great-great-grandchild, John Eugene Wheeler, who wrote all of this. And he came to the post office one day, and he said, I think we're cousins. And he wanted to know what I knew about the Wheeler family. And he's very, oh boy, he really knows his stuff about that genealogy. And he says we're third cousins once removed. And in my genealogy that I've worked on, I never did know what the heck that once removed stuff was. I'd say we're just third cousins. And he came through, when did he come through? About 3 years ago, and he took my picture. And he tells me that through his study, this Eugene Wheeler had a farm of 47 acres along there, about where we lived. He just practically knew what the description was. And in his further study, he actually found out of that 47 acres, it was just across the street from where we live now. And he proved it to me. And he said he says here in his letter, Bob had no idea they lived so close to our ancestral land. He bought his 5-acre property in 1954 and moved the house back. Well, tell me about that. We had quite a talk, and he pinpointed the place where Eugene Wheeler had his 74-acre farm, and he sold all of it off at 7 acres. And if you are acquainted with it, just had a And if you know actually where I live, the family that sits across the named Rainwaters, they're on his ground. So,
well, take it back.
I don't want it.
You got all of it?
Oh, just sitting there between my 5 acres, that's getting out of the story. My 5 acres is 2.5 acres over here, 2.5 acres over here, and this 2.5 acres is in 2 wells. I get some from the 2 wells, and over here I get some of 3 wells. And boy, at one time it amounted to something that it won't even buy. Well, if I smoked, it wouldn't buy me cigarettes now. But that's getting away from it. As I said, Eugene and I had quite a talk, and he took my picture there and told us about here, and he sent me this, the Wheeler family. I should have had that on the table. You could have read it, you looked at it, and it's so interesting. And he tells us that William Wheeler was the son of Benjamin Wheeler, and Benjamin Wheeler was born in England, and William W. was born in North Carolina. And in the lineage of the English ancestry, Wheeler name came from a spinner's helper. And he made the spinning wheels for the weavers. And then in another study, they made the wheels for the road carriages. And some of those carriages were kings and queens' coaches. So we ain't no common people. And here I have this book, the World Book of Wheelers. I don't know why I didn't put it back there on the table. And in England, the surname Wheeler occurs most frequently in Wiltshire, Worcestershire, Oxfordshire, and Berkshire. By the time of the first census in America in 1790, many Wheelers had settled in the country. In this country, the average Wheeler household has 5.7 children. Or members, not children, so just 7.7 members in the family. So Frida and I slipped up. She wouldn't cooperate.
Just a minute, you have to turn it around here.
I was away at the war too long. And the name occurs most frequently in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and New York. Wheeler was the 191st most frequent occurring name in the country. Today there are approximately 118,000 adult Americans with the surname Wheeler. Now, that's not very many, but when I read it, then it says adult, so the kids don't count. Well, this struck me too. The name occurs most frequently in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and all of those New England states. But yet our people came through the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and up into Illinois. I don't know why they didn't stay in Tennessee.
Too hot.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think the Lord looked down on us today. Last Monday and last Tuesday we had 3 1/10 inches. And every night at the New Year, at the 10 o'clock news, they predicted rain for the next day and the next day. And we thought, well, gee whiz, how are we going to have a reunion and rains over it? Well, I think the Lord looked down and said, they're due for a good time. And boy, he cooperated with it. And hasn't it been fun?
Yeah.
And I think we ought to go from this place, and we shouldn't leave with our tail between our legs. We're somebody. We're Wheelers.